Hey there, everyone. Happy solstice. I decided to do the video one day early because today is solstice, and in the northern hemisphere, we're enjoying the longest day, and in the southern hemisphere, you're enjoying the shortest day. And this is a really important time. I went on a beach meditation this morning with a couple of friends, and one of my friends reminded me that solstice is about pause. So it's almost like when you're meditating and there's the in breath, right? And then there's the out breath. There's a moment when you're not breathing in or out. It's that pause. And it's that moment that a lot of yoginis focus on, that moment when you're not really breathing, where you can be with be with God. And so it's this pause that we're in right now, all together on the planet on this day of solstice. So I thought it would be really fun if I pulled a couple of cards, which I normally don't do, and I probably won't do this for a very long time, but I felt like there was a lot of messages coming forward, and I saw quite a bit during my meditation of what's kind of occurring for everyone. So let me first share briefly what I saw that I think is good for all. And then I'll share a couple of the cards that I pulled and how they align with that message. So one of the things I saw was a prism. Actually, it was a tetrahedron. And I don't know if you know what a tetrahedron is, but it's basically a pyramid, but it's with three sides, right? The triangle, but then it is four-sided and it's all triangular. So the bottom, and then you have the top. And it's hard to see with this particular crystal. I wear this all the time. I'm showing here a prism, which is different than a tetrahedron. So a tetrahedron will have the three sides like the prism does, but instead of being based on a square where you have four triangles leaning onto each other to form the prism, you just get rid of that. Basically, you get rid of the square on the bottom, and it's just a four-sided triangle. And that's a tetrahedron. And when you double them up on each other, there is a unique power to that. So the interesting thing, it's the strongest form outside of the sphere, of course, but it's one of the strongest geometric forms, and it's Plato's first solid. And so this tetrahedron stands for fire, and it's about activating the solar plexus. It's about activating your own internal power. And what's really interesting is one of the cards that I went straight to these two decks, just not thinking. But what's really interesting is these decks both tap into the nature of our planet, into Mother Nature. So the first deck is by Asha Frost, and it's her Sacred Medicine Oracle. And the card that I pulled two cards, and one of them was Worth. And what's interesting, you see the yellow sun here, and the yellow sun is part of your solar plexus, which is yellow. And so it's all about your personal power and worth. And I love how we have the small child in the yellow dress. It's almost like tapping into your own worth and tapping into your inner child to bring out and understand your worth. So it's really, this whole sun element is super important, as well as the idea of your worth. So that was the first card I pulled, which aligned. And then the second card I pulled, which is kind of cool, is this star blanket. And the message on this is all about transition. And we're going through a huge transition, and we individually are going through transitions. And what is fascinating about this star is there is an 8-sided star, which is made of tetrahedrons. So what I was seeing is that these tetrahedrons kind of work within each other, and they would expand, and then they would collapse, and then they would rotate, and they were all going around each of our energy bodies in our meditation this morning. And that's a mer-ka-ba. That is aligned. The mer-ka-ba is really aligned with the physicality, the human body, and our energy body. Mer-ka-ba, ka is energy, ba is body. I don't know what mer stands for. Maybe someone can post in the comments. But I think that's super interesting that the star blanket came up and transition, because we are being up-leveled more so than any other time. So just be super excited and ready for this, whether you are looking to open up your gifts more, or you're just ready to get aligned with your higher self. This is the time. Everybody's energy is being fine-tuned. It's really, really beautiful. And this is what this energy is doing. We're in this pause, and this energy is happening for everyone. If you sit still, pause, and really focus on building your own inner power and going within, then you will notice these changes. So that was from the Sacred Medicine deck, those 2 cards. Then I went to another deck that I haven't gone to in a while. It's the Animal Apothecary. It's by Kara Elizabeth. And I love this deck on so many different levels because she's such a beautiful person. And I like everything that she says in her little booklet. I mean, it's just spot on. And the visuals are my favorite. I love all the use of color. And the first one that I pulled was this card called Breakthrough. So again, we're finding our worth. We're going through transition time, and also we're breaking through some of our old patterns. Things are just falling off. And what's interesting in this coffin is the lizard, and it's all about our lizard brain. We're saying goodbye, because when we use the lizard brain, it's because we're fearful, we're afraid. And all of that is just dropping off. We are being activated. And this, in this lizard eye, guess what that is? I don't know if you can see it real close. That's a tetrahedron. So there we go. You have a tetrahedron activating you right now to understand your personal power and to create this growth for you. It's a big breakthrough. This solstice is about breakthrough, transition, personal power. And then the second card I pulled is this card, which is super, super beautiful. So the one thing, black is all about, in fact, I saw Kali Ma. So Kali Ma is the guardian to black, and black is all about creation. Black is divine mother. And what she has here, it's the destiny path, but there's a Latin phrase, omnia unus est. And what that means is all is one. And she's using here the symbol, which I love because I'm totally into alchemy and color, is what alchemists use, the symbol, the philosopher's stone, which was turning lead into gold. But this is more than just taking the physical matter of lead and turning it into gold. It's about turning yourself into gold, into soul. It's more metaphysical. The meaning of this is metaphysical. And so we're using the sun to find our worth and attach and transition into this higher understanding of who we are. And that is what this solstice is about. So I wanted to share that message with you. I wanted to share what was coming forward. It's very exciting. And for you, I just encourage you to go within, to be with yourself and with your soul, and tap into your inner power and allow these activations, these beautiful changes to come forward. And don't be afraid, allow that to fall and really step into who you're meant to be. So I leave that with you. Happy solstice, and I'll see you next week.